Hello and welcome back, everybody. We are going to look at video animation using Adobe After Effects for our broadcast club in the ABC2 curriculum. So let's get started. So we're going to focus on Adobe After Effects. We talked about getting the Adobe Creative Cloud for students, which is really affordable. There are other animation softwares out there as well, but to keep everything consistent, we're sticking with the Adobe Suite for this application and course. So we're going to create an animated video, and it's going to be simple. It's going to be a nice little intro video, but let's look at the layout of After Effects so you can get familiar with it. So first of all, we have like our main file area. So this is where you dump all of your files, you put them in, and that's how you can use them. And we'll look at that. Then down here, this is really like our workspace, if you will, and it's split up into a couple different sections. So we have the transform properties that every single piece of content in After Effects have, and it's really one of the main ways to animate pieces of content. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the transform buttons to create keyframes. And that those little clocks there should create keyframes in time of where we want. This is how we tell the animation software where we want things to move at what times. So you'll see this is like a timeline here, and there's a timeline bar, and that bar represents where in time the preview animation is playing. And we can create these little keyframes for different properties, all on their own lines, of where we want things to move. And that's basically how it's going to go. So let's jump right into it. Once we're done that, we'll go into Adobe Media Encoder, which will be really simple, and we'll render our file. So our file will come up as an option. We can choose a preset for the resolution we want it to render, and then there's a little start button. And once we render this file, as opposed to Adobe Photoshop, where we just saved a file, just one picture, if you will, this is a ton of pictures, right? It's an animation. It's a moving group of pictures. So we have to render it, and it takes a little longer. So let me show you what I have here by clicking the preview button and playing it. And then we're going to make it from scratch because I want you to see it step by step. So it rolls in, it says Accelerated Broadcast Club Curriculum, and then it fades away. So it's a very basic animation, but I think this is a great place to start if you've never done this type of animation before. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy that text. Come here, text. So we've got it, but I'm going to completely delete this. So we're starting with nothing but a solid white. Now you might see this was just checkerboard. So we'll go up to layer, we'll create a new solid, and maybe we'll do black this time. We'll just do a black background. Then we'll create a text layer by clicking this little text tool up here and clicking and dragging our text area. And then inside of here, we're going to type Accelerated Broadcast Club Curriculum. I am going to click the character tab here so that we can choose a color for our text. Blue would be kind of cool, but white is going to be much easier to see. All right, so I'm going to put this in the center, and that's where we're going to start. Let's get rid of those annotations. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit that drop down arrow right there, and we're going to go to the transform tab. And this is where I was mentioning all of those keyframe clocks are. So we want to transform the position, right? Because we want it to stroll in. And then eventually we're going to transform the opacity to have it fade out. We need to tell the animation software when and where we want all this to happen. So we do that by creating a keyframe. So we create a keyframe. We push it off. We want it to start off screen, right? So it starts off screen, and then it scrolls on screen. So there we are, scrolling right to the center there. So now our animation scrolls onto the screen. That's good. That's kind of what we wanted, right? We want it to scroll onto the screen, and then we want it to fade out. So we'll go over here. We'll set another keyframe for opacity at the end. And by the way, I want to show something here. This is 10 seconds of time, right? 9.5 seconds, really. We can right-click the composition and go to Composition Settings. And we can change the length of it if we'd like. So maybe we just need this to be like a 5-second intro. And we could drag and drop an MP3 into this media bin over here and drop it into our file and actually add audio as well. We're not going to do that, but we could if we wanted to. So here we go. We come right in, And then let's go ahead and click this opacity. And then right around at the end of this 5-second tutorial, or intro video rather, we'll go ahead and fade out to black. So now we go ahead and click spacebar, which is usually set by default to do a preview. It scrolls in and it fades out. That is very simple animation. Now we'll hit export, add to Adobe Media Encoder. This is a great way. I'll briefly kind of explain some of the options that we have. Later on in this course, we will create a stinger transition, which will use an AVI transparent background video, which has RGB and alpha channels. But for this, we just simply are going to create an MP4, which is a video that is much smaller and easier to use. Now, since we added it to the queue, it'll pop up here. There it goes, pops right up. We can see here that it's set to be H.264, which is what we generally want. We're going to use adaptive high bitrate, and it gives us the notation that it's going to be 300K. So we're not creating a file that's so humongous that it's going to, basically destroy our computer. So basically destroy our computer, sorry. Basically, could actually max out our hard drive possibly. So we go to the broadcast club. We'll put this in the downloadable course files, and we'll call this intro video. Click save, hit OK, and we'll hit the plus button, and that is going to very quickly animate because it's a pretty quick file, right? Now we can go back into OBS. We can create a whole new scene for the intro video. Now, OBS is generally sources organized inside of scenes, and we'll use this plus button to put it above our next scene. We'll kick plus, and this time we will use media source for our intro video file. And we'll just go ahead and browse to find it. And here we are in course broadcast club, downloadable course files, video intro. Now, when we transition to this, we've got a little intro video. So just briefly wanted to show you guys some basic video animation. Clearly Adobe After Effects and video animation can use a lot more time. You can take a whole course on it, but just wanted to show you some brief little things that you can do quickly and easily to enhance your productions inside your broadcast club. All right, our next video is going to be the basics of video production software. We're going to go over all the things that you need to know to become a great producer. And they're coming up next. Bye, guys.